A sleepless night for many as aftershocks continue to rock Chile.
A powerful earthquake there last night triggered a small tsunami, forcing people into the streets and causing widespread panic.
Put at more than 700. It's thought that 500,000 homes were destroyed, most around the city of Concepcion, where the army has now been brought in to stop it.
The most devastating earthquake in the country's history struck back in 1960, killing more than 1,600 people.
Ideas, it's an earthquake.
Get under the table.
We're going to die.
Everyone stop. Our house is going to be fine.
Okay.
First things first, what do we know about living in Chile?
We live right near the coast of Chile. This is right where the oceanic continental plates are. As seen in this photo, the light blue color is the Nazca Plate. The Nazca is an oceanic plate, so it subducts under the denser South American continental plate. Where the subducting Nazca Plate brushes against the continental plate, the Andes are formed. The Andes are not only mountains, but also volcanoes, which is a very rare combination. As the subducting plate is continually pushed downwards under the depths of the South American plate, the seawater is locked into the mantle. The water cools the mantle and creates partial melting, which becomes magma. When the magma is released towards the surface, it becomes volcanoes and a part of the mountains. Now, the earthquakes in Chile come from when the plates slide over each other. They don't slide easily and actually drag over one another, which creates a deformation and fracture on the plates. This leads to shallow earthquakes like the one we are experiencing now.
I added 3 special features to our house so it could withstand an earthquake. I put lots of beams in our house, seismic base isolation system, and columns. I also took note of the fact that we live on land that easily breaks apart and tumbles down the coast. So, I built our house to make sure all of these details are paid special attention to. You guys remember when those workers came to fix the beams in our house?
See?
Do you remember why this was important?
See, you said it was important because the beams hold the house together and they form hinges which allow them to absorb the energy of an earthquake. You're a genius, Max.
Thank you. Does anyone remember why we had that huge construction project last summer?
See?
Didn't we install the seismic base operation system? It isolates the structure from the ground and makes it so the seismic shocks don't break the house during an earthquake.
Yes, the seismic base isolation system is installed from the ground and upper structure. It isolates the house so the structure can now withstand earthquakes without making it rock side to side.
But I don't get it. Our house is built on the shore where the converging plates create partial melting, which becomes magma. When the magma erupts, it creates the igneous rock andesite. The mountains, called the Andes, were created by the converging boundaries, which then turn the andesite into the metamorphic rock schist. The schist is created by the extreme pressure the mountain ranges exert on it. As seen on this map, the metamorphic rocks, which are colored as orange, lay near the mountain ranges on the coast of Chile. But as you actually get closer to the coast, these metamorphic rocks become sediments and sedimentary rocks, which are colored as yellow. So, it can be concluded that when the earthquakes begin near these mountains, the metamorphic rocks break easily apart and tumble down the side of the coast. Since we live right near the coast, how do we prevent our house from also going down with it?
You are a stupida. Since the schist easily break apart during earthquakes, we built the house with bits of marble because that type of metamorphic rock is less likely to break apart. But another way to stop the house from falling apart during the earthquake is by putting beams not only on the inside of the house itself, but by putting steel beams into the ground. Since we are practically living on top of the easily breakable metamorphic rock schist, putting steel beams in would give it more protection than the house having nothing to hold it down. The steel beams can keep it rooted so they won't rotate or move during an earthquake.
And everyone must remember the time when the beam in our house snapped.
See?
Well, niñas, instead of just putting in a new beam in the house, I decided to put a column. They absorb more energy than the beams and are much stronger. Beams also bend more when under stress. The columns are much safer for our house.
Yeah.
See.
See?
See?
I did keep the beams in the basement, though, because having more beams will still be better than nothing. And this is why we are safe in our house.